Yo, it's the end of the year and the amount of good music we've got this year has been really good. Glorious ain't here, and today I'm gonna be ranking my top 5 underground rap albums this year. Like and subscribe, and follow my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, which I'll link in the description below. These are some honorable mentions. Culture by TEF. The transitions and the production overall is great. The artist's performances were fine overall. I definitely think that this album is worth checking out. Most albums usually tend to feel very long and boring, especially if it's at 24 songs like how Culture is. But this wasn't the case for Culture, as it's such a refreshing album to listen to compared to the traditional underground trap album. TDF relies on the atmosphere throughout these beats, and depending on how you listen to these fast-paced, loud songs that are popular in the underground, this could really make you love or hate this project. Yo, and can these surely stop giving these niggas neck, cause that's damn near all they speak about in their songs, bro. Like, we get it, okay, Mark? This album overall brings back that old style of Pure Bone type beats, while he still has his little flair to it. Rapping on this album is usually pretty catchy with some nice flows. My favorite tracks of this album is Fried featuring OK Mar, BTA featuring Smoking Skull, and What You Said featuring OK Mar, and 1am. And overall, I'd rate this album at a 7 out of 10. Next, I got Baby Woe 2 by Glock 40 Spaz. After Glock was released from jail, they were saying he washed and he fell off. And I can't lie, Glock had a generational run before he got locked up. But I think he still got it, and this album proves it. He has evolved and his beat selection is great. Lyrically, the contents of each song doesn't feel super repetitive, even though the topics are consistent throughout. He accomplished all of that with no features, and he even gave us some melodic moments. The production is reminiscent of the OG Plug style, and some tracks having a more cloudy, chill vibe. My favorite songs of this album is Atlantistan, 2 for 2, and Die With Regret. Overall, I'd rate this album at a 7 out of 10. Alright, my last honorable mention is Say Never After by 1am. I'm not gonna lie, getting through the 18 tracks here was a struggle at first because it got stale towards the end, and it was just too repetitive for its length. The production was fun, vibey, and enjoyable. My favorite songs of this album is Cloud 9, Call Me, and Ain't My Life. Overall, I'd rank this album at a 7 out of 10 as well. I enjoyed all of these albums, but they just didn't make the top 5. Alright, at number 5, I got Jump Out by Osama Son. Back in January, Osama Son dropped one of his most anticipated albums, Jump Out. I got this album at number 5 because it could have been better than it was. I don't blame Osama Son for this. The leaks just really messed up the final version of this album. I personally feel like if this album had some of the leaks from the first version, it would have definitely been one of my most favorite Osama Son albums. Every song that leaked was good, bro, like he wasn't missing at all. I thought Jump Out was gonna be generational, and some of my favorite songs from Osama Son are from that pre-Jump Out era. Songs like D-Wade, Make Some Noise, and LeBron James are some of my favorite songs from that era. Don't get me wrong, there's some really good songs on this album that I spin to this day. I just feel like it could have been way better and it got repetitive. OK was the executive producer of the album, and I like OK's beats, but it was just way too repetitive for me. Unfortunately, this is why it's at my number 5. The sound on this album was the classic Osama Son rage, distorted 808s, and good vocal delivery. Songs like Southside, GTF or The Room, and Ref are perfect examples of this, and he executed it very well as he always does, no glaze, bro. There are also some good melodic moments in this album, and I really enjoy when Osama Son taps into his melodic sound. Songs like Room 156 and Made Some Plans, for example. I don't care about how the girl who sang the cover on the song on TikTok, like, you know, they quote-unquote ruined the song and how it blew up on TikTok. It doesn't change the fact that it's a good song. Jump Out also charted at the Billboard 200, so even on a commercial level, it showed that Osama Son is reaching a wider audience. The cover art was very fire, bro. Like, the cover art really set the mood and the tone for the album. And I don't think Osama is missed on the cover art, no dig right. I know they're all like paying homage to another cover, but like they're just all good, bro. Besides the psychotic one, like I don't have no words for that shit. But this album had every reason to be one of his best. I'm talking easy top 3 potential. It had hype, it had snippets, it had leaks, but just way too many leaks. I just feel like Jump Out never reached its full potential. My favorite songs of this album are Southside, Fool, and Room 156. Overall, I'd rate this album at a 7.5 out of 10. Next I got Until Japan's latest album. I don't know how to pronounce the album titles, I'm just gonna say his latest album. This album is so underrated and way too overlooked in the underground. This album is different, not the typical underground rap album you hear. It's more moody, experimental, and emotional. It's the kind of project you listen to at night while rethinking your life choices. It just has this sadness, pain, and reflection vibe to it. It really helped me get through a lot. The melodic, deep 808s and sampling also gives it a layered, introspective feel. The producers on this album, such as Revisiting Earth, No Saint, and much more, bring a crazy variety, dreamy synths, the ethereal samples, and even some rock-leaning and atmospheric elements. Unlike a lot of underground rap with all that flexing, rage, and repetition, Japan really talking on this album about some real shit, and just much more deeper than just turning up to a song. Compared to his previous tapes, this one just sounds more thought out. It's just not random songs, it feels like a full album with attention to the production detail, the mood flow, and the layered instrumentation. The variety of this album is good, there's atmosphere, and there's storytelling and there's feeling. Some songs are hard and some songs are introspective. Because he leans heavily on sampling, sometimes the production, as atmospheric as it is, can feel like it's prioritizing vibe over structure. The dreamy beats, but the vocals and emotion can get bland and boring. It's moody, cloud rap, and experimental, which means not everyone's gonna vibe with it. It's not designed for rage rap heads, more of the introspective and reflective moments, so its appeal is more niche. But I think this album will grow on a lot of people and will really age well over the years. If you're into underground rap that's more mood, more reflection, more introspective, and more atmosphere, I recommend you give this album a listen. My favorite songs of this album is Pyramids, Yeah Yo White Paris, and Die Like This. And overall, I'd rate this album at a 7.8 out of 10. Alright, at 3 I got Psychotic by Osama-san. I really enjoyed this album from top to bottom, bro. Like, first listen was just heavenly. I remember when it dropped and I heard Habits at 7 AM in the morning. That beat just blew my mind, bro. Jump Out genuinely sounds so bland in comparison to this album. This album was dark, gritty, and sharp, and it really lives up to its name. Osama-san was dealing with so much violations and leaks of his personal life, label issues, and his last album having mixed reviews. But Osama-san has prevailed from all the odds, delivering his best album since Flex Music and definitely top 3 in his discography. This project portrays how much Osama-san has leveled up musically. Psychotic's production was insane and way more diverse, with Osama working with more producers than he did in Jump Out. There was a decent mix of production which I appreciated, but it was mostly handled by Warren Hunter. This project has some crazy dark and heavy beats, lots of energy, and an experimental artistic direction. I was genuinely bumping my head to almost every song, bro. Like, I can't make this shit up. These are some of the best beats that Osama-san has ever rapped on, and it helps that his flow is actually the best he showcased on this album. I enjoyed Che's verse on FMJ, he was flowing on that insane beat, and Osama was just rapping like the rent was due, and it went so well with the aesthetics and the production. Songs like Function and Gintama were fun and had this energetic vibe to it. There was some whole lot of Red inspiration, but with his own unique style and sound. Osama-san was pushing the rage sound to its limits with this album. It's already such an improvement from Jump Out. This whole thing is incredibly polished and overall some of his best work. My only con with this album as well is the length. It's 17 tracks long, which is simply just too much for like rage songs with some crazy ass beats like this, because it could get a little bit repetitive and a little bland. Nonetheless, Osama-san also has some really good melodic performances on tracks like Worldwide and She Woke Up. Osama-san really tapped into his potential and making some of the most intense and hectic rage music I've heard all year. The production is distorted and disorientating, and Osama's vocals add to the intensity, but they were less consistent on a few tracks. But I still got this album on my rotation. The album did well commercially as it charted on the Billboard 200. My favorite songs on this album are Habits, Worldwide, and Addicted. Alright, at 2 I got Rest in Peace by Che. Che is on a generational run, and it's safe to say that this is his best and maybe even his peak. Che just constantly keeps evolving and switching his sound every album. Che went crazy on this album with insane vocals mixed with some of the hardest production. This album was genuinely one of the best interpretations of the rage sound, and he stayed consistent throughout the whole project. Even the non-rage songs were amazing. This album is also heavily inspired by Whole Lotta Red, but Che blends it into his own style, making his sound stand out. The momentum on this album just never stops, bro. Whether Che's on a rage or even a jerk beat, MDMA, On Fleek, and Marceline was some of the hardest songs to me off the first listen. Che was really sliding on most of these tracks. The beats also do a good job at just matching the theme and the aesthetic that Che was trying to go for. Songs like Live Filler and Hellraiser match the live performance energy, Hood Famous matches the stunting vibe, and both switches of Dior Leopard just sound ethereal. These melodies allow Che to become an instrument in his own right. Even though the album gets a bit softer towards the end with the 13 to 15 track segment, it still goes crazy the entire time. Che is still tapping into this dark horror style aesthetic that he's always been associated with, but the distortion is what makes the flows truly unique and creative on this album. Now this album is obviously inspired by Cardi, especially on those first 6 tracks. Che's screaming, he's yelling, but it's completely natural knowing that he wants to leave that common aesthetic that he used to have. Che is trying to see people go crazy at his shows, and those screams definitely elevate him as a live performer. He still does the glitchy vocal thing on tracks like Hellraiser and Eardrummer, where he cuts his vocals shorter. But tracks like Doe Deer and Slam Punk are showing a new Che era that I really enjoyed. I like this new sound that he was using on this album, and I really want to see what he's gonna do next. I honestly hope that Che just leaves this satanic shit and he just sticks to the creepy vibe and aesthetic that he's always been on, because the upside down cars vibes just seem to be for aesthetics at this point. It doesn't seem authentic to what Che is doing, but then I can't judge his artistry. All I know is that Rest in Bass is definitely one of the best underground rap albums that came out this year. My favorite songs of this album are Bass, Eardrummer, and MDMA. Overall, I would give this album an 8 out of 10. Alright, at number 1, I got For Nothing by Nine Vicious. This album has been in my rotation for so long, and the first listen was just amazing. Nine is a weirdo, I'm not gonna lie, he's been doing some crazy shit. But I didn't want to let that cloud my judgment about this album and his music overall, because I personally enjoy his music. I don't mess with all the weird shit he be doing and his past actions though. I know a lot of y'all won't agree with my take, but you don't have to because it's my personal opinion. This album has improved in quality compared to his previous projects. The beats are more unique, his voice sounds better, the ad-libs go crazy, and the transitions have improved. He's flowing better. I low-key don't have any complaints with this project, bro. This shit was crazy. I just wish he wasn't doing all this weird shit, bro, because he would have definitely been one of the biggest out right now. I know Nine be doing some of this shit just to farm, he just be farming engagement, bro, especially on Twitter. He be going crazy on it, and it's working for him, but it's just not it. There's a lot of people being biased and are just hating on his music because of his actions, and I think that shit is lame because his music is good, bro. The hate bombing shit is just lame as fuck. I really miss with the polished sound that he was going for in this project, and I'm glad he executed it very well. I felt like he aimed at the consistency this time when he was creating this project, so it's a smooth listen. There were only 2 skips for me, that being Pretty and Internet Gangster. I just don't mess with those songs, bro, but I genuinely enjoyed most of the songs on that album. It's actually pretty good for an underground artist that blew up this year. I personally think that this is the best underground album of 2025. 16 songs on the album and only 2 skips for me. This album was genuinely so high quality, refreshing, and every song sounded different, and it has its own style and flow, and you just can't get bored over this album. The beat selections is another level, it's just crazy as shit. The sampling is just unmatchable, bro. Shout out Ahmed and all his producers, bro, and how versatile it is. Nine has truly become one of the biggest superstars in the underground scene, and I can't wait for him to drop Emotions. This album is definitely an improvement from his last album, Tumblr Music. People say it's ironic how he was talking about why all these niggas is taking his swag. Sure, he does copy Young Thug, but who cares, because he does it so well and he kind of switches it up in his own way. People will constantly hate on something like his lyrics are AMT, he just be talking about BS on his songs. The songs have horrible mixing and his screeching vocals, it's boring or it's bland. But I personally think that his music is just fun, bro. It's just vibes, and it just sounds amazing to me. I don't think you should really be listening to underground music if you're a lyrical rap fan. Songs like Taking Swag, So Many Tears, Heard Some, Mobb Deep, Cosign, bro, there's just so many on that album, bro. Even the last song with the Cardi sample, oh my gosh, bro, that song was fire, bro. Shout out Ahmed, he's the GOAT, bro, because he executively produced this album. Valley is fire as well. I really miss with that Ambition sample, and I also really like Mosh Pit and Chaos. This album has so much replay value because I've been spinning it since it dropped in July, bro. I'm so glad Nine stuck with the consistent sound throughout the album. You can hear how much is inspired by Cardi's Whole Lotta Red era as well, and Young Thug. I know most of y'all are gonna find Nine's music ass, but if you get it for real. My favorite songs of this album are Taking Swag, Face, and Slack Gospel. Overall, I would rank this album at a 9 out of 10. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'ma catch y'all in the next one.